Hi, Renee, Jayne here, and I want to share a brief personal story with you. So years ago, this was probably about a little over a decade ago, I used to have a walk-in pantry in my kitchen, and I had a jar of dark chocolate covered almonds with big crunchy sea salt all over the top of them, and I used to buy them in the bulk food section and then dump all of them in this glass container. And I would go into the pantry and I would shut the door behind me and I would eat a bunch of these dark chocolate covered almonds. And when people would come over and I would share, I would often go in there and I would bring some to them also. But before I brought some, I would eat a handful privately myself. And I had to start taking a look at this eventually. About 8 years ago, I went to nutrition school, and this was a catalyst at the time for me to look at this. But there was this connection with me being secretive with food and with sweets, and not just sweets. Certainly it was other things too. Oreo cookies used to be my favorite, and ice cream, and all these things. So usually it was sweets, but there was a secretiveness to it. And this is one of many examples, and I wanted to share this example with you because I hear it a lot from the clients that I have worked with over the years. And this is a relationship to food. It's a relationship to the beliefs that we have about how we communicate, how we actually consume food. And there's so many things around being in control, and I could go on and on and on, but that's not what we're here for today. The reason I'm here is that I want to share with you, way back then, I started doing this eating plan, and it was what helped save me, and I truly mean that, because I had a really dysfunctional way of eating at the time, but my body was also suffering. I was living with migraine headaches that were horrendous, and it was ruining my career and my relationship at the time because I really was not functioning very well. I was always laying in bed with a migraine for days and days. And one time it put me in the hospital with an IV, and it was a huge wake up to me because I started to realize that I couldn't live this way anymore. I had a lot of hormonal issues and digestive issues, and what I started to see is that food could really start to change things for me if only I would take the step forward to change it. And so I created, after I finished nutrition school, a cleanse for 18 days, and that cleanse is now 8 years old. And one of the things about the cleanse that's so important is that food is our foundation. When we have our food figured out, it impacts everything else in our life. When we have this connection with food and our body figured out, it really impacts our relationship, our career, how we function, how we see the world, everything. And so I want you to know one of the biggest problems that I see that people have with food is that they obsess about it way too much. We spend way too much time thinking about food. And so I created this cleanse because I didn't want the focus to be an obsession with food. I created this cleanse also because I wanted people to find their alignment and their path with how to relate to it and how to relate to themselves. I built this business around the concept of loving yourself naked. And what that means is that it's a full acceptance of your whole self and who you are. The dark, the hiding in the pantry, eating dark chocolate, and the light, the one that can step out and be honest about things. And all of us, that whole self, is really, really important if we are going to take ownership of our body and take ownership of how we want to be in the world and how we eat. And so I want to help you figure out your relationship to food. I want to help you figure out your relationship to your body. And I want to also let you know that there's no magic pill. I don't believe that cleanses should be about weight loss, and so weight loss will not be our focus. However, I'll share our focus in a moment. But you should know that when we focus on helping heal our body, weight loss is often a really beautiful consequence to that for a lot of people. For some people, weight loss is not their goal, and so that part may not apply to you. But what I want to do now is just give you a vision for why we even do this cleanse. Our bodies naturally are supposed to cleanse themselves. Thankfully, our bodies are wonderful. However, we're exposed to all kinds of different things in our environment, and we're also exposed to a lot of different processed and packaged foods. And so our body can really get built up with a lot of excess toxicity, and if our organs, particularly our liver and our kidneys, are not functioning properly, or our stomach and our intestines aren't able to fully digest the foods that we're eating, we're not going to be absorbing the nutrients that we need. Our body's not able to actually process out the toxins, and it can start to make us sick. And so one of the ways that we support that is we get the lymphatic system moving. And so the purpose of this cleanse is twofold. One is to help to heal and start the healing of our gut health. And the other part is to help start getting our lymphatic system to move. I imagine the lymphatic system is like the drain pipes of the body. And so we want those moving and flushing everything out. And we're going to do 18 days of this cleanse together, where I'll give you meal plans and a lot of guidance through videos and all kinds of support through recipes and different tutorials, and you'll have all the support that you need, and we will have a lot of fun. One of the things I'll say is that the most important thing is that you find an acceptance and an alignment with your food, your body, and yourself. And that's what we do. One of the biggest things that clients share after this cleanse is over is they say that they trust themselves. And I find that to be a huge deal, because when we trust ourselves moving forward, we know we're going to make the best choices for who we are. And I want you to have that independence. I want you to have that freedom. And, you know, you can't fit into a cookie cutter plan that somebody else gives you. And so the most beautiful part about the 18-day Love Yourself Naked challenge is it's going to challenge you to find your own way. It's not going to give you this, here's a plan, this is the one you have to do, the only one that works. It's going to actually empower you to find your own way. And that's going to be a really beautiful gift for you, because this is about your body, and this is about your temple, and this is about you finding peace within it. So please check out loveyourselfnaked.com, register for our next cleanse, and I really look forward to cleansing with you. Talk to you soon.